What is fidgeting? Why do we do it? Is it good for us? Is it bad? Or is it a case of depends? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Rick Green, and I want to know if my fidgeting is actually helpful for me. I know it can be annoying for everyone else. Well, it used to be until I found better ways to burn off that restless, agitating energy, better ways to fidget. So first of all, let's define what we mean by fidgeting and then see why and when we do it. Some of us more than others, obviously. And finally, let's discover if and how does fidgeting help us or hinder us? Should we stop doing it? Or perhaps just find more adaptive ways to fidget? First, let's define fidgeting. How about something physical, engaging in a peripheral, perhaps irrelevant movement, or fiddling with something while you're engaged in a task? That's my definition. It's awkward, but it'll do. We may fidget when we're thinking, when we're listening to someone, when we're waiting for someone, waiting our turn, ruminating, fretting, whatever it is, we fidget. Second, why do so many of us fidget? It's not like we want to. We don't have a timer to remind us, oh yes, time to fidget. Oh, is this bothering everyone? Mostly we're unconscious that we're doing it, even if everyone else is noticing. We're not really thinking about it because we're busy thinking about whatever. Why? Well, this study from 1986 suggests that people who are prone to fidget do so because they are feeling either overwhelmed or they are feeling bored. Overwhelmed or underwhelmed, which are the two states that I pretty much bounce between for most of my life. But wait, the same behavior when we're swamped or when we're bored? Seems contradictory, but let's look at the two states of being. Overwhelmed, underwhelmed. We'll start with feeling overwhelmed, fidgeting. You know this one, when the pressure's on, you're being taken to task, maybe being cross-examined by a lawyer or by your boss or by one of your kids. You're waiting to go up on stage, but the introduction is taking forever. I want to get up there. This could just be me. So we take our agitation and we express it physically. We fidget because we need to. Or we don't fidget because now we are grown-ups and we know, and we have been told many times it's rude, it's distracting to tap your feet or your fingers, or the knuckle cracking, or spinning the pen in our hand, twiddling our thumbs, twirling our hair. So we don't fidget, but we sure want to. Now let's look at the bored fidgeting. The reason we do this seems to be the opposite. It's because we don't have enough energy and we want to keep the brain awake and focused on what's happening or what's about to happen. And so we've got something that kind of occupies us so we can follow along. Stuck in a meeting or stuck in a classroom. Side note, apparently the reason you yawn is very similar. It's to get the brain and body a little more awake, a little more alert. We yawn not because we don't want to listen, but because we do want to listen, but we're having trouble listening and we get a bit of, I was and still am a proud fidgeter. I spent most of my school years with a pen, pencil, eraser, coin, whatever in my hand. Of course, carefully hidden from teacher's view by holding it under the desk or usually by sitting behind a big kid. And I was kind of tiny, so most of the girls were bigger than me as well. I didn't have friends, I had human shields, which is also handy for vanishing when the teacher asks, "Who can tell me?" Now there are fidget toys, and some great ones. The fidget spinners are one. They were actually invented by a chemical engineer named Catherine Hettinger back in like 1993. But there was really no interest in the toy companies. The patent ran out, it ran out anyway, and other people started coming up with different ideas and different, stress balls. And then in 2017, the fidget spinner market exploded. And then they were given to the kids in the class who were the most restless, right, on the spectrum. And they were cool to have. How come he gets one and soon everybody wanted one and soon everybody has one? And then the noise was distracting because it helped the kid who was distracted, but it distracted the kids who didn't need the distraction, and the schools started to ban them. I wish they'd ban calculus while they're at it. I know how to do differential equations, thank you, second year university, and I never use it. Sorry, I'm a little agitated. When we're in that underwhelmed, bored mode, we're not speaking to you, we're looking right at you. Apparently we're paying attention and listening, but we're not registering anything. We're agitated, we're lost in thought, we're fidgeting, our fingers are moving around. It's nothing personal, our mind is elsewhere, it's adrift. Or we're just bored. In fact, sometimes I want to say to people, if you want me to pay attention, say something more interesting. But I have very few friends as it is, so I don't say that. Ironically, if what you say is too interesting, then I get engaged. My mind will wake up and start racing, and I'll have all these thoughts and these questions, and what if we added that to it, and then we could put wheels on it, and it could go really, and that could solve the energy crisis and make us famous, and we could make like hundreds of dollars. Either way, overwhelmed or underwhelmed, we find a physical distraction, one that helps us to focus and retain what we're hearing. Whereas other people would find the opposite, that having to do two things makes them less focused. They find it annoying, they get distracted, and they're, what? Sorry, what? One problem with fidgeting is that it can be unconscious. In fact, it's usually unconscious. For me, I can be rattling my keys. That was how my dad watched TV, standing there rattling his keys. And when I do it, when someone's talking and I'm interested, my wife finds it distracting. And other people think, oh, I guess he wants to get in his car and go somewhere because we're boring. You're not boring, it's me. So what's the solution, Rick? Good question. I say choose a good distraction. Preemptively select a diversion that will help you and not set off other people, depending on the situation. Be honest, you're going to be bored, you're going to be worried or anxious or upset at times, so plan ahead. You're visiting relatives who get on your nerves, take something along just to play with. No, I don't play golf. I just make golf balls disappear and stuff like that. The point is we can be distracted by what's going on up here or what's out there. We can tune out. And here's the surprise, the irony, the lesson: fidgeting can help with focus. Doing something else can help us focus on the main thing. Now, to be clear, this is different from getting distracted when you're searching online for a specific image of a Christmas tree to paste into your annual Christmas newsletter, and instead you find yourself somehow watching the third in a series of demolition derby championships in Georgia, and 2 hours and 73 minutes have passed, which is actually 3 hours and 13 minutes, and now I'm Googling that. Don't ask me how I know this. That's different. We lose track, we get sucked in. The games, the videos, they're designed to lure us in. They're designed to give us that little blast of dopamine with every ping, with every whing, whing. Wow, right. I agree, I disagree. What an idiot. That's horrible. Even though that's horrible. Give it a little that's horrible. Fidgeting can help up to a point. If you have to sit still for a long period of time, that's when you want to get up, stretch, take breaks, or if it's a meeting, suggest we take a break. But you can also stretch while the meeting's going on, while you're sitting there. If you're sitting there and you arch your feet, try that. Just arch your toes and wiggle your toes. Maybe press your feet into the floor. If you're sitting, press into the back of your chair. Your hands are like this, but you're actually pulling them apart or pushing them together. You're doing isometrics, just doing it at a level that hopefully nobody notices. So in conclusion, I would say if you tend to fidget, pick an activity that wakes up the brain just enough, but doesn't dominate, something that provides relief from the agitation, something that soaks up the excess energy or gives you a bit of excess energy. A small distraction to prevent you from going on to bigger distractions or, even worse, falling sound asleep. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know all about the liking and sharing and commenting, all of which tells the search engines and the software, hey, this video has a lot of likes and comments. We should probably make sure more people see it because apparently it's good, and maybe people will see it and even become a patron so this guy can make more videos. That's actually my total understanding of how the internet works. But I'm Rick Green. I hope this made a difference for you. If not, you're not sure, you didn't quite follow, you got distracted, grab a pencil and paper or a fidget toy and watch it again. And on that pad of paper, you can doodle. Well, I'll talk about doodling in another video as well.